feel about me coming back to work at Central?
Well, let me just say that, first of all, I have to compliment you for your bravery for coming with me. You know, your other sister said, I can't live there. Not just Arkansas, but the whole U.S. She tried really hard, so I thank you for that. It was interesting that you started working at Central, but I think we need to give you credit for your other work, working in parks, your commitment to some other things, like you're going on Sojourn and having a real much deeper understanding of the civil rights movement than, I'd say just about everybody who wasn't part of it. And so I think I admire you for that. Just because of your knowledge, we can speak in shorthand. We don't have to say, who's John Lewis, who's Chris McNair? And that comforts me in a lot of ways. Because I feel like socially and intellectually isolated to the point of insanity. So I appreciate your understanding so that we can talk about stuff and point out stuff. And it's kind of cool to have my daughter with such a great knowledge. So getting the job at the historic site was just an accident of fate, I think, in some way. And it turned out that it grew in some way. So how do I feel about that? I feel that you have a lot of information that I didn't have. And we actually use that information, and you help me understand it in a deeper way. So I appreciate that too.
So as a parent of 6 kids, all these years later, suppose Central Part 2 broke out. Would you, considering your experience as a parent, how would you feel about letting us go?
Well, you know, part of talking about what do you try to give your kids, and what, you know, put the 1,000,000 hours in a child from your own experience, your ideas, your processes. And if I think, and this is what I've answered to parents, if you do it well, they're going to surprise you. And you have to be ready for that. So I would say that that's what my parents did. And when I walked in and said, I'm going to Central, that's what happens. That's the outcome of that investment. And I would have to be able to allow you to manifest your creativity and your thoughtfulness. And that's probably one of the hardest things parents have to do, is to let that happen. If you really want to know the truth, this sort of cultural language, class segregation that's so much a part of our entire society, to me, is more frightening than going to Central in 1957, because at least I thought there was an outcome that would be of use to kids.
So is that why?
And now I can't see outcomes. I see negative outcomes. So, it's, you know, it's a way, how do you think about it?
Because I've said things that I wanted to do to oppose things I didn't think were right, and sometimes you don't seem like it'll do any good.
You mean I say it wouldn't do any good?
I mean, there are things that I'm like, well, we need to go do this, or we need to go do that, and you're like, it's not going to help. What changed?
Well, to me, there's an unreceptiveness on the part of the people who govern us. I think that's what would make me feel like it is of no use.
I'm not saying always. There are just things that, you know, I'm like, you're the same person who went to Central with, you know, the system saying no.
Yeah.
And here it seems like, not here, but I'm saying in this day and time it seems a little safer. Maybe, maybe not. Is that why? I don't...
Well, I don't feel that it's safer because the courts have rolled back so much, and there's, like the Patriot Act, there's loss of freedom, a huge loss of freedom for American people, which seems to me they don't notice. And that's pretty scary. I'm not sure how I undo all that, because it's got all these fail-safe things, like it's unpatriotic, it's about war, and it's about... I think there have been other times that have felt as frightening, but I'm not sure if I felt that there was no way of communicating with the rulers. So that's kind of what is a form of disillusionment. It doesn't mean I don't stop talking.
Because you talk.
Because I
Speak
get
out.
to talk, and I talk to lots of people, and I work with lots. I speak at colleges, and I get to talk about those things. Because everybody's saying, what can we do? So maybe we should talk about what we can do. But yeah, I do feel a certain amount of disillusionment because I don't feel that my message gets to the people who are ruling. And so that may be the worst kind of apathy, feeling that I can't be heard. So I have to think about that.